So this will be on record, and now Miss Susie will so graciously tell us on your Claris to go to the YouTube videos.
Okay. Yes. You go at the beginning where all your buttons are across where it says events, call me, events, and resources, and it has one button that says websites. You press that button, and it'll bring you all websites.
That's under resources?
No.
Oh. It's its own button.
It has its own button itself. It says websites.
Okay.
And when you press that button, then it takes you in, and you have all different kind of little websites and things to do. Well, and one on the lower, if you're looking at your Claris, at the lower, at the first page, the lower right-hand side, it has Tai Chi video. If you press that, then it will take you to YouTube, Dr. Lamb's Tai Chi thing. You can scroll off to the right, and you can find all different kinds of YouTube things, different demonstrations and stuff. You can also go into the SOWEGA site where it says SOWEGA. The button itself says SOWEGA. And on that, you can find different exercise from like when Robin was with us. And I'm not sure, I don't think you can go into YouTube that way. But now I noticed that just recently they've added some of your things on the, I think it's on the SOWEGA.
Huh.
It's either on the resources or SOWEGA. I think it's on the SOWEGA site. They have the little videos that you have done of the different ones, like just the warm up or just the commencement and stuff like that,
I got
that
you.
we can follow.
Well, I'm gonna double check with Alexi about, just say you miss class. How do you easily go back and watch class?
We should
That may be.
You're recording it, so if I'm not mistaken, it should be on the SOWEGA website.
Okay, I'm just going to double check with her, just so.
Yeah, I'll check and see if I can find it. If I do in the meantime, after we get off of this,
okay,
I'll see if I can find how to get to you. And I don't go, like I said, they made it real easy now to where we have all these little bitty videos of you doing the different things like commencement. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's the one with the whole 6 moods, so.
Yes. Very good. Thank you, Susie. I hope you're feeling better this week.
Good. I've been to the gym already. I'm done. And everything.
Hey.
So are y'all feeling a little bit of fall in the air? Isn't it? It's
A little bit.
just like this much. And then I think
not fall.
Tomorrow I think it's supposed to be 97 or something like that.
Yeah.
Our first day of fall is going to be 90 something.
Our first day of fall will probably be next year.
Yeah, you're right. I tell you, living in the South, it has its perks, but our summers last about 9 months, don't they? All right, well, let's get started just warming up our bodies. I like to stay within the camera view, so I'll walk forwards and backwards. Typically, I don't suggest walking backwards, but because I can see what's behind me on the screen, I'm not so worried about what's behind me. Open and closing, just pumping my arms. My goal is just to get my blood flowing so that everything's warmed up and ready to move, and decrease my chance of injury. So we always go into exercise just warmed up, even if you walk around just for a few minutes to warm up all your joints and muscles. And then we find a place where we start thinking about body awareness and how we're holding our weight. I have my weight on both legs. My feet are about shoulder width apart, and I have good posture. Now, typically I'll say like a string that goes up your spine to the ceiling, but really it's like a string that not only goes up to the ceiling, but also pulls down towards the ground as well. So you just have that nice posture from that string that just pulls you, and you're standing up, relaxed shoulders, holding those weight on our legs. So that's our nice stable stance. It's really our goal in support of our body anytime that we're out and about. Now, do we all do standing Tai Chi? Mr. James, are you standing?
Yeah, I'm standing.
Okay, I thought so. I couldn't tell 100% because your name goes over top of you. I was just double checking that I didn't also need to give sit down instructions.
I'm trying.
All right, so starting with our neck, we bring our hands up, palms down, towards our chin and chest, push away from our body and follow those hands down. Little stretch in the back of our neck. When I do that move where when I come here, it's right here. When I'm pulling my hands towards my chin and chest, I just tuck that chin just a little bit and then release it as I push away. That may or may not be comfortable for you, but that's another way to warm up the neck joint. It's ever so slightly bringing that chin in whenever you bring your hands towards your chin and chest. The other neck exercise starts that same way, except this time we'll follow that hand to the side as we look towards that shoulder and switch as we go side to side. Thinking slow, smooth, and continuous. Feeling a little stretch, not going as far as you can go. Just go until you feel that stretch. You may have one side that may feel a little bit more tender than the other. That can be from sleeping in a certain position that just causes tension in your neck. Make sure you do a breath check to make sure you're breathing. Every time I say breath check, I think about making sure your breath doesn't stink. But if you're home by yourself, it doesn't matter if your breath stinks.
We used to check each other's breath whenever we went partying.
I love it. That's a true friend that checks your breath. Now let's roll our shoulders. We roll them forward first. I like to turn to the side just to show you. I'm drawing those little circles on the side of my leg, and then roll those shoulders back. That feels like a massage you give yourself.
It does.
Rolling those shoulders forward and back. Maintaining that slow, smooth, and continuous motion. My nose will quit itching. That's not part of the Tai Chi warm-ups. I just can't stop. The next shoulder exercise, we bring our hands up, palms up, and then press those palms down in front of us. This is a great one to practice breath. Inhale as we come up. Exhale as we push those hands down. That same motion that we do at the end. The next movement is for our spine. So we start with our ball. Our hands are facing each other. We're going to separate the heavens and the earth. It sounds so powerful. The hand that's on top of our ball is going to push down towards the ground, keeping that soft bend in your elbow. Excuse me, y'all aren't boring, I promise. And then here, come up and push up and down at the same time, stretching that spine. I like to inhale as I come to my ball and then exhale as I separate. And to me, that makes me feel like I'm stretching just a little bit more as I exhale. To the ball and switch, stretching that spine. This is probably my favorite one. I think it's because my shoulders and back seem to always be kind of tight. And this really just stretches those muscles. See, y'all are keeping that nice bend in your arms, and I like to see that. And because anytime we lock a joint, you're keeping the energy from flowing. You're no longer having what's called a song joint, S-O-N-G. And that's what we want, is a song or an open joint. Coming back to our ball. Now let's take that ball for a ride, side to side. That hand that's on top is our lead hand. So we go in that direction, just above our leg, switch our hands, come back across, side to side. Continue to breathe and continue to tell yourself slow, smooth, and continuous. Sometimes I repeat that because I'm telling myself to stay slow. It's easy to get in a hurry. One great thing about Tai Chi is we don't have to be in a hurry. It's our time to finally slow down. We don't have to be in that world that's just going full speed and always busy. We're slow, smooth, and continuous. Just like we're in slow motion. Coming back to center. Now these are the ones for our lower body, specifically our hips. We're going to shift our weight to one leg, place that heel forward and our hands back, pause in the middle, and then our toe goes back like a kickstand while our hands go up. Come back to center. Now let's give our legs a break by shifting the weight and now moving that other leg, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. Shifting the weight, heel forward, hands back, pause, and toe back, hands forward. Come back to center, shift, heel forward, hands back. Very good. To the other leg. And last time. Now we can do that warm up two different ways. The way I just did it, like I said, gave the leg a break. Or you can let one leg hold your weight the whole time while you do 3 leg swings, which I call them leg swings. That's probably not a very Tai Chi term. But here, I can let that foot hold my weight the whole time while I move my leg. So that's your stable leg that's not moving. That's a very big test of endurance, strength, and balance for that leg to hold your weight that whole time. So that's one way of doing that exercise. If you want to just test your strength and balance and endurance, that's a great way to do it. But if you do need a little bit of a break, shift the weight, do one leg swing, then shift the weight to the other side and move that leg. That way you don't have one doing the job for a long time. So those are two ways to do that. I tend to do it both ways. The way I was taught was doing them all at the same time. But after teaching for a while, I realized that some people need a little bit of a break. And so that's why that's that option for there. So you choose, even regardless of what I'm doing as your leader of class, if you need to do one or the other or want to do one or the other, you make that choice. For our other hip exercise, we shift our weight from side to side. And then once you have that weight shifted to that stable leg, you can lift that foot up and tap it out. Or you can just leave that foot there. You know, lifting that foot up and tapping it out, that takes a lot of bravery, really, to allow that stable leg to hold your weight. So you choose which way you want to do it. Our hands are stacked and they go in the direction of the weight shift, stopping at the frame of our body. So we're going just to that frame and then tapping that foot out. What we are not doing is going way out here where we start leaning. Once we start leaning, that takes us towards falling. So remember, upright posture as we go side to side. So upright posture is something that we should maintain at all times as one of our Tai Chi principles. This is in our body structure principle where we talk about upright posture and our weight transfer. So body structure is just how we're holding our body. Shifting that weight. You probably feel your knees kicking in to help with balance. I know your ankles are kicking in, but also your hips. It takes those three weight-bearing joints to make this happen. Very good. Now for our knees, I have this loose fist. I'm going to shift the weight, lift a foot, and punch that opposite hand out and bring it back. Let's scoot back a little so you can see. You have some choice here of how high to tap your toe. You can just keep it low to the ground, that's fine. Or you can lift it a little higher, like there's a cup out there and you're tapping the top of it. Of course, the higher you get that leg, the more you're testing your balance and your strength, your endurance as well, because we're going slow. It's a whole lot more difficult to go slow than it is to do this fast. And it's not even easy to do it fast. But slowing down definitely engages a different kind of muscle or a different part of your muscle. And we'll talk about that with waving hands and clouds. Our other knee exercise is where we step out, step forward. We're going to shift the weight to that front foot, keeping our back foot on the ground. Bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. Remember, we don't extend our knee out in front of our toe. So if I turn to the side, you can see this pretty well. If you were to keep shifting your weight and that knee extends past your toe, then you're going to start feeling some pain in your knee. And we're not into pain around here. So we just do a slight weight shift to that front foot, keeping that toe or keeping that heel in the back on the ground to keep us stable and to keep that weight in the proper place. I never show y'all the wrong way to do that because it hurts and I don't want to hurt myself. Some things I will show y'all, especially when it comes to leaning, because I have really good balance. But it doesn't matter however much strength I have, it's still going to hurt my joints to put that toe in front of, or that knee in front of that toe. So I won't show you that and what that looks like. So those are for our knees. Now for our ankles, you can hold your hands any way you want to. I like to either hold on to a table or just keep my hands in front of me. Preferably having a table close by, because once I shift the weight to a foot and start rocking that foot heel toe, you know, just if anything happens and I were to fall into that moving ankle, I could hurt myself. And there's no reason to have to put yourself there when there's no arm movements. So just hold on to your chair, your table, something that's stable. So as you move your foot, you don't fear that you may lose your balance and turn into your ankle. That'll put you out of commission for a while. And then big toe, little toe. So we're rocking our foot back and forth, just working on the range of motion of our ankle joints. We all have different flexibility of our joints. And so the more we do these stretch exercise movements, the more flexibility we'll have in each of our joints, which helps with mobility. And that's what we're going for, is mobility. We want to get around. We want to be able to do things. All right, so those are our warm-up exercises. Just to review, we had 2 for our neck, our shoulders, our spine, hips, knees, and ankles. Do y'all have any questions about those? Are you good? All right, Mr. James, make sure you interrupt me or question me if I confuse you or you need clarification on anything. Because it takes time for us to get, you know, good and used to our movements. And I know sometimes I may accidentally say something that may be confusing. So always feel free to ask questions. And I know you're newer to this than Miss Arlene and Miss Susie. So don't let me leave you behind, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So now we're going to go to our basic movements, starting with commencement. Commencement is a step forward, and it's a shift to the right leg. It's a step with the left foot, shift to the left, and bring the right foot forward. So I'm doing this movement in mirror image to so that it helps you follow me. So I shift right, step left, shift left, right foot forward. So step forward, that's the footwork of commencement. The hand work is hands up, following or facing each other. Hands come down, come in towards my hips and up my body. I think of an elevator. Then my hands go out and back in. So that whole time my hands are facing each other. When my hands come up, there's that soft bend in my arm. We're never locked in our joints. So it's out, but it's not out, right? So we come up, hands facing, and we don't go higher than our shoulder. If we start going higher than our shoulder, you can already feel tension in those shoulder muscles. So we stop here, then we come down, come in around our hips, up, out, and back in. So that's the handwork of commencement. Now, with our weight shift, our hands go in that direction of the weight shift. So when we come up, nothing's happening with our, I'm confused. HTC entered the waiting room. Let's see who this is. So whenever we bring our hands up, nothing's happening with our legs. But when I bring my hands down, that's when I shift the weight to my right foot. Okay, so HTC, it looks like a walking path. I'm not sure what that is. We'll see.
So,
Is it Alexi?
yeah, she just gave me this information. I'm just gonna watch today or whatever.
Okay, what's your name?
Brenda Hodges Tiller. I will put it in for you, okay?
Thank you, my dear.
And then I left you a big message. So
Okay, I'll get it when I get back to my office.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yes, feel free to watch and just listen in and let me know if you have any questions. All right, so here we go. The weight shift and the hand go together. Hands come up, nothing. Hands go down, that's when I shift the weight to that right foot. So up, down, shift the weight. So to me, it feels like your hands kind of made that happen. Shift the weight. And then I step, hands come in and up. And then here's some more of that magic. Hands go out. As the weight shifts forward, bring the right foot forward, then the hands come back. That felt like a gathering to put an end on that movement to get us ready for open and close. Nice deep breath in our open and close. So let's do that commencement again. Bring our hands up, down, shift right. Step left, bring it in, up, out as I shift. Bring that right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Here we go, and commence again. Up, down and shift. Step, in, up, shift as that weight gets shifted forward, or hands go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. This time, let's do it without me talking. And commence. Open and close. Very good. Next is single whip. Now we do single whip to the right and to the left, but the first time we do it, it's to the right. So we're here because we just finished open and close. We're gonna shift the weight to our left foot, step out right. Now notice when I stepped out right, I stepped at an angle. When I stepped out at that angle, I made an adjustment to my weight. So I went from having all of my weight on my left foot, stepping with my right, and now I have weight on both legs. You may have 50-50, half of your weight may be on each leg, or you may be more comfortable having a little more weight on that back leg. I feel more comfortable having just a little bit more weight on that back leg when I step that right leg out. Okay, but that's kind of a personal preference on where you want your weight. This is a staggered stance, so it's a very stable stance. So you just adjust your weight however you feel comfortable. Now, because you step out at an angle, it's about a 45-degree angle, it naturally turns your body at that angle. So your hands are here from open and close. So they're still facing each other. At this point, they're going to push out. Turn those hands away from you. And now let's separate. We're separating both hands, but our eyes are following our left hand. So that's our single whip. Again, coming from open and close. Shift left, step right, adjust the weight, push, turn, separate, following that left hand. That's the end of that single whip movement. So the transition from single whip to waving hands and clouds, it can be done a couple of different ways. But let's do those first three movements together, starting with commencement. Commencement, open and close, and single whip. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Shift. Step, adjust. Push. Turn. Separate. Following that left hand. So when this is that whip movement, we opened up those hands. Even though our eye is on our left hand, we still continue to move that right hand. So we don't forget about it just because we're not looking at it. And that completes that movement to open up that chest. And you can feel those muscles stretch as you whip, as you open up that movement. Okay? So those are our first three. Are we good on those? And I know that sometimes it just takes practice. You might not feel 100% with it, but you also don't have any questions. Sometimes the answer is, I just need to practice. And that's just part of it. I still have to practice, and I've been doing Tai Chi a long time. So that next movement is called waving hands and clouds. So I like to break down this movement because I like to just use this movement. Completely forgetting the ones that we just did, just pulling out waving hands and clouds is good for so many things. One is Tai Chi walking. So I step right, shift right, follow step left. So I'm walking to the right, doing a Tai Chi walk. Slowly shifting weight, stepping, shifting the weight, and follow step. Shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step. Now, you're feeling some things as far as where your foot placement is. You may see that you've stepped too big. You may see that when you follow steps too close. And you'll know that because you feel a little off balance when you go to shift the weight if your feet are too close to each other. And then if your feet are too far apart from each other, when you go to shift the weight, you find that you're having to kick off of the foot that you're trying to take weight from. That's when you know your legs are a little too far away from each other. So practicing that stepping to the side and finding your own groove with it is important for waving hands and clouds. When I instruct you how to do it, I will tell you when you take that first step out, it's a little wider than hip width apart. And whenever you follow step, it's about at hip width or shoulder width apart. But then when I really start doing that walk to the side, my legs are probably a little closer than that. But that's what feels nice and stable for me. And I want you to find your own space that works for you as you shift, follow step, shift, step, shift, follow step. So that's Tai Chi walking to the side. And the first time we do waving hands and clouds, it's to the right. Shift, step, shift, follow step, shift, step. So my initial step is the right foot and my follow step is the left foot. Shift left, step right, shift right, follow step left. Shift left, step right, shift right, follow step left. This right here, just doing the Tai Chi walking with no hand movement, just doing that Tai Chi walking can help you develop muscle that helps you be stable so that it helps keep you more balanced. And that, you know, that movement right there, is that not the same thing we do in warm-ups? Whenever we're shifting the weight to the side, tapping out, back in, shift, tapping out and back in. That's pretty similar to our waving hands and clouds movement. Stepping, but you know, it's a little bit different. But all those warm-ups are so important. It prepares us for our Tai Chi movement. So don't just take those for granted. They really are meaningful in preparing us for these movements. So Tai Chi walking to the side is our waving hands and clouds footwork. Stepping right.
Did I say something?
Sir?
I was gonna tell you, I was doing that, but I said I was going sideways. You never said I thought we were trying to walk straight.
No, we're walking sideways this time.
I didn't realize that till you finally said it. And I said, well, how can you walk? And I was going sideways, but
see, that's
okay.
why you have to interrupt me and let me know that I've said something.
But you know, I just said we're gonna look funny out there walking down the sidewalk going sideways.
We will. Yeah, and I tell you, if you do Tai Chi walking forward out there on the sidewalk, you'll look funny too. Because you can Tai Chi walk to help yourself with balance, walking forward by shift, step, heel, toe, shift, step, heel, toe, shift, step, heel, toe, shift. So there's that slow, you know, I think of a cat. You know how cats like sneak up on people and pounce. That's what I think Tai Chi walking is like. Is like a kitty cat that's sneaking up. Shift, step, shift, step, shift. Here is forward, Mr. James. But in waving hands and clouds, we step to the side, stepping out, shift, and follow step. All right, so that's our Tai Chi walking. First time we do it, it's to the right. We'll do it in a little bit and we'll go to the left. But let's talk about the upper body movement. So in our warm-ups, we have our ball where we go from side to side. Waving hands and clouds is just like that, except our hands are a little different. We have our hands here, and we turn that torso, switch our hands, turn that torso. So my hands are just going along for the ride, just like when we hold that ball, it goes along for the ride. So this is the handwork of waving hands and clouds. We call it turning in our Tai Chi class because I'm turning, I'm not waving, right? So it's a turn. It's a turn. I'm turning my torso, switching my hands, turning my torso. This is a good one to practice just seated, to find that groove in here. My hand is across my body. My other hand is down here by my hip, palm down. And when I turn, then I switch. And I turn, and I switch. Turn, switch. Turn, switch. So it's always pretty easy when we do one like our leg movement, and then we stop and we do our arm movement. It's putting them together that sometimes is tricky. My best advice on waving hands in clouds is when you step right, you turn to the right. When you step left, you turn to the left. Step right, turn right. Step left, turn left. Step right, turn right. Step left, turn left. Step right, turn right. Step left, turn left. So you notice in between me saying step left, turn left, I did something, right? I had to switch my hands, and I also had to shift my weight. So here I stepped right. I can't step left until I shift all my weight to my right foot. I can't do that. So I have to shift the weight before I can step left. So that was happening when I said step left, step right, turn right. I shifted before I stepped left. Then I switched my hands to get them in position so that now I can turn left. So there's the shift so that I can step. And then there's this changing of my hands so that I can turn. So when I step right, I'm going to turn right. I just got to get my hands fixed to do that. All right, so let's go back into our single whip and do that transition to our waving hands and clouds. So to do that single whip, we shift left, step right, push our hands out, turn, separate, following that left hand here. Now I'm going to shift my weight to my left foot and bring my right foot back and my right hand down. This is where we start our waving hands and clouds. I step out right, fix my hands so I can turn right. Here we go. Shift, step, switch and turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. And then to the middle for open and close. So in our preparation of this movement, we just kept walking to the side. I didn't worry about if we were taking 10 steps or if we were taking 2 steps or any number of steps. But in our Tai Chi movements, we do 3 steps. And a step is that first step and then the follow step. That's 1. shift. Here's 2, step, shift, follow step. That's 2. So it's that follow step that ends it. Shift, step, shift, follow step. So that's your 3rd step. And that's what we take in our Tai Chi series of movements. Back to single whip. Shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, following that left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot back, hand down, waving hands in clouds. Step right, wave right, or turn right. Shift, step left, wave or turn left. Step right, turn right, step left, turn left. One more. Step right, turn right, step left, turn left. Open and close. So how's waving hands in clouds?
Hard.
It is hard. It's very difficult. And so that's why I break it down. Break it down into that footwork and just really get a feel for stepping to the side. Really get a feel for that and how that feels to step, shift, step, shift, step, shift. Just how that feels to shift weight as you step to the side. And then that movement of turning. When you first learn it, you're real choppy. You're more like, okay, here, okay, turn, okay, here, okay, turn. You know, you're more stiff and you're more sharp and you're thinking about it. And that's what you do when you first learn. But find your groove to where when this hand's coming down, this one's coming up. And then you start turning, same thing, this coming down, this is coming up. Practice it over and over until it gets more and more smooth, where that hand's going down as the hand's coming up. And then you immediately start turning back to the other way. So then it becomes more like wax on, wax off of Karate Kid. It's a circular motion, which is kind of a lie. It's more of an elliptical motion. But you get the idea. It's smooth. If you just think about what one hand is doing, it's looking like this. It's going down, taking a ride, coming up, going across, coming down, taking a ride. Just that one hand is doing that kind of movement. Just like when we did that ball, the hand on top of our ball told us the direction that we were going. Same thing here. That hand is what I considered on top. That's the direction we're going. Switch. That's the direction we're going. So the hand that's on the top tells us the direction we're going. Here. Just like that ball. We're here, the hand on top tells us the direction. Hand on top tells us the direction. Hand on top tells us the direction. Practice that movement. Make it slow, smooth, and continuous. Finding the smoothness of it. And that just comes with practice. Break it down that way. Then think of it as when I step out with my right foot, that's when I wave with my wave with my right hand. Step left, now I'm going to wave left. So make that real choppy. Step, switch, step right, wave right, break down those movements, step, break down that movement, break it down until you practice, and now suddenly it's smooth. Where you're shifting the weight as you're turning, you're stepping as you switch hands. That comes with practice. It doesn't magically happen and become that smooth. It comes from making it real choppy, step one thing at the time, turn, step, turn, step, turn. That's the choppy version. The more you practice it, the smoother it will become. But if you think step right, turn right, step left, turn left, then that gives you a pattern to follow. So let's go from commencement through our waving hands and clouds and then ending with open and close. And commence. Up, down and shift. Step. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Step, turn. Step, turn. Step, turn. Step, turn. Step, turn. Step, turn. To the middle for open and close. And close it out. So of course that comes with practice. And I know, Mr. James, you have just been thrown in here. Miss Brenda, you're seeing things for the first time that you've never seen before. And so that's okay. You know that Dr. Lamb says that it's normal to feel very awkward. And it takes a while till you start feeling a little groove to it. It takes a long while, possibly for 12 or 16 weeks. So be patient with yourself as you feel awkward. Now, our next movement is single whip and waving hands and clouds. Well, that's what we just did. But now we're going to do it to the other side. So I'm going to step over here. This is where I would have ended my first waving hands and clouds, and I did my open and close. So now to do single whip to the left, I shift right, step out left, just like before, push, turn, separate, this time following my right hand. Sorry, there's a wall there. Now I'm going to shift right and bring my left hand and foot back. Waving hands and clouds. Step out left. Wave left. Same as before. Step. Wave. Step. Or turn. Step. Turn. Step. Turn. Last time. Step. Turn. And to the middle for open and close. So sometimes we learn it to one side and we think, okay, I got it. I got this. Yes. And then you go trying it to the other side and you go, well, that feels all wrong. I was used to doing it that way. So do what you did to make it smooth and easier going to the right. Do that same thing on the left by breaking it down. Doing the step part where you step out left, shift, follow step, shift, step, shift, follow step. So practice walking to the left, just the same way that you practiced walking to the right. And then with the hand movement, practice waving to the left and waving to the right. This shouldn't feel that much more, this shouldn't feel much different than the other one because it's the same movement. It's just following the stepping to the other direction. Okay, so we're going to go through all of those moves right now. Even if you decide to just stop and watch, that's okay. We're going to go through them from the top, and then we'll do our cool down. Here we go, and commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Last step. Open and close. Single whip. Shift. Step. Push. Turn. Separate. Following that right hand. Shift right. Bring that left foot and hand back. Waving hands in clouds. Step out to the left. Switch and wave left. Step. Wave. Step. Wave. Step. Wave. Step. Wave. Last follow step. And open and close. Close it out. So those are our basic 6. Those are our basic 6. And those are the ones that are evidence-based, proven to help with falls prevention. And it's because of our weight shifting. It's because of our attention to our body structure where we have upright posture, transferring that weight and maintaining an upright posture. It's because we go slow, smooth, and continuous that really gets those stabilizer muscles engaged. Not relying on our big muscles to keep us, it's pulling in those stabilizers, the one that help keep those joints supporting our bodies in balance. So that's what we'll keep doing. So for now, let's cool down by giving ourselves a little fist massage. Your legs may be a little sore or fatigued from doing that walking sideways. Or if you practice your Tai Chi walking where you walk forward, of course, I never recommend walking backwards because we don't have eyes in the back of our heads. So I want you to be able to see your surrounding as you walk. All right, let's gather, feel a little tension, and then release it. We don't want tension. Tension causes pain, and we're like anti-pain people here. One more time, tense and relax. let's do a big circle. Inhale as we come up and exhale as we push those hands down. Practicing that diaphragmatic breathing. Filling our lungs with air and then emptying our lungs with air. One more time. And then at the end of our class, we have our right fist. That represents our strength. Remember to keep it at nice, easy, loose fist. We never want to squeeze our hands, especially so many of us have arthritis in our hands. So that would hurt. So we keep a nice, loose fist. That's our strength. We have our left hand. Our fingers are together. That represents our friendship. And our thumb bends in, and that represents, it doesn't have to bend quite that in. It can just be close to your hand. And that represents our humility. So we put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
So thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all today and really pushing through with the waving hands and clouds. And we'll get better and better at it and making it more and more smooth. So,
Practice makes perfect.
ma'am.
Practice makes perfect.
It really does. You know, when you come to class, you come to learn. That's what's so different about Tai Chi is I may say some of the same things every single time. I may say them in a different way, but it's all to teach you to follow the principles and find something that clicks, that goes, oh, you didn't say it that way before, but now I get it, or I'm hearing it in a different way, so that when you go and practice, then you got it. So yes, practice, and always let me know if I can do anything to help you.
Yeah. Well, they have you, like I said, in the different videos doing the different your parts of the Tai Chi. So those that are new, they could go in and they can practice just like commencement or what with you over and over again. It helps by breaking it down just to one and then adding another like you did.
Yes.
Now you just answered my question I was going to ask, and she just said that. I'd like to figure out where I can get.
It's on SOWEGA. It's on the SOWEGA website.
Go to the website and look up
SOWEGA. Your button that says SOWEGA
on your Claris tablet.
Oh, I'm on my iMac.
Oh, okay. Well, you
She's not a Claris companion.
You can go to YouTube, Miss Brenda. You can go on YouTube and look for my name, Jennifer Crosby, and you can put in SOWEGA, and it comes up that way.
Yeah.
But now, what is this tablet? How do I rent it, or do I buy it, or what? I'll follow and do what everybody else is doing.
Where are you, Priscilla?
I'm in Albany right now, but I travel a lot.
Well, SOWEGA Council on Aging are the ones that have divvied out these Claris tablets. So just call them. SOWEGA Council on Aging, you know, that's your Albany. You have a big building there actually that you can go and do things live. Okay, well, you can go there live and talk to them about it, or you can call them.
And you said that you talked to Jamie or you talked to Alexi?
Alexia today.
Okay.
Before it was Gloria King who gave me the information, but did not just gave me the website, but it was for 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
So I have been trying to do the 1:30, and I couldn't figure out because I know enough about Zoom. It just wasn't working. So they're two separate links. But I had asked if I could catch up. Now I know that I can catch up by going to YouTube, but I would be also willing to pay for whatever it is that she has.
It's free.
It's a tablet out.
It's free.
So we could give them to you free.
Okay. I'll go get it when I'm back in town.
Well,
Sounds good.
they have a list, so I would advise you to go ahead and put your name on the list because
Okay.
they just recently got a grant to buy some more and they're divvying them out, so there is a waiting list on them, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate being able to get in, and it was so nice to see all of you.
Yeah, you can
I
still
think I'm
get,
going to
as long as
enjoy.
you got this link, you can still get in on your computer and that. The problem
Well,
is
now I can.
you've got to know the time and everything. You've got to know when to do it. Otherwise you'll miss.
Yeah, it's every Tuesday. If you like the 1:30 class, you're welcome to come to the 1:30 class. If you want the 10 o'clock class, that's a different link. So you just let
I
us know.
know. I
Okay.
now have them both.
Okay.
She had
We,
given me the wrong one. And I have my weak side, I notice, is my right side. So I see you leaning toward the left, but it'll take some practice. I
yes.
know that now.
And I always say, listen to your body because we are all different. So you'll hear that a lot. All right. Well, y'all let me know if I can do anything for you in the meantime. And if not, I will see y'all next Tuesday.
Thank you,
Okay.
All
Jennifer.
right. Thank
I
you.
left you a big message. So if you would
Okay.
respond to that. Thank you so much.